The massive alien warship hung in Earth's orbit like a dark storm cloud, its metallic surface reflecting the distant sunlight. Commander Reed of the United Earth Defense Force stood at the command center's viewing window, his weathered face showing no emotion as he watched the alien vessel. It was 3 times larger than anything humanity had ever built. The aliens called themselves the Dominion, and they had arrived 6 months ago with a simple message: submit or die. They had demonstrated their power by vaporizing a small uninhabited island in the Pacific Ocean. The blast had created tsunamis that devastated coastal regions across the Pacific Rim. "Sir," Lieutenant Adams called from her station, her voice steady despite the tension in the room. "The Dominion's Supreme Commander is demanding our answer. They've given us 1 hour to surrender Earth's resources and accept their rule." Reed turned away from the window, his gray eyes scanning the faces of his crew. They had trained for many scenarios, but nothing quite like this. Humanity had only recently achieved faster-than-light travel, and their space fleet was small compared to the Dominion's armada. "Send them our response," Reed ordered, his voice firm. "The one we prepared." The message was simple: Earth has only one rule for visitors: respect our sovereignty, or face the consequences. The alien response came quickly, broadcasted across all frequencies in their harsh, clicking language: "Your species is young and foolish. We have conquered 1,000 worlds. Your defiance will be your undoing." What the Dominion didn't know was that humanity had been preparing for this moment since they first detected alien signals 50 years ago. Deep beneath the Earth's surface, in bunkers scattered across every continent, lay humanity's true strength, not in warships or traditional weapons, but in something far more subtle and deadly. Dr. Emily Parker, head of Project Guardian, stood in her underground laboratory, surrounded by screens displaying complex molecular structures. Her team had spent decades studying the one thing that made Earth unique in the galaxy: its vast diversity of microscopic life. "They think we're primitive because we don't have their level of technology," she said to her colleague, Dr. James Wilson. "But they don't understand what we've learned from Earth's smallest inhabitants." The plan they had developed was audacious. While the Dominion expected a conventional battle, humanity had engineered something entirely different. They had created a defensive system using modified bacteria that could rapidly break down specific molecular structures, particularly those found in the Dominion's biometallic technology. Reed watched as their first countermeasure was deployed. Thousands of tiny satellites, no bigger than smartphones, quietly separated from Earth's orbital stations. Each carried a payload of engineered microorganisms, harmless to organic life but devastating to the Dominion's technology. The aliens didn't even notice the deployment, their sensors designed to detect energy weapons and conventional threats, not something as simple as bacteria. Their arrogance would be their undoing. "Sir," Adams reported, "the satellites are in position. Waiting for your command." Reed took a deep breath. This would be humanity's first real test against an advanced alien civilization. They had one shot to show the galaxy that Earth wasn't just another primitive world to be conquered. "Release the payload," he ordered. As the microscopic defenders spread through space, Reed thought about the message they were about to send to the galaxy. Earth wasn't just a planet of warriors or diplomats, it was a planet that had learned to harness the power of life itself. The Dominion was about to learn why you don't threaten a species that had spent billions of years evolving alongside some of the most efficient destroyers in the universe, Earth's microorganisms. And this was only the beginning. The first signs of success came 12 hours after deployment. Lieutenant Adams noticed it through her monitoring equipment: subtle changes in the Dominion warship's energy signature. The massive vessel's biometallic hull was beginning to deteriorate at a microscopic level, though the aliens hadn't realized it yet. "Dr. Parker," Reed spoke into his secure communication link, "how long until they notice?" In her underground lab, Emily Parker studied the real-time data flowing across her screens. "The bacteria are reproducing faster than expected. The ship's outer layer has already been compromised by 2%. They should detect something wrong within the next few hours. The Dominion's response came sooner than anticipated. Their massive warship suddenly lit up with scanning beams, sweeping through space in all directions. Emergency signals blared across all frequencies as their sensors finally detected the invisible threat eating away at their vessel. Insolent primitives. The alien commander's message thundered through Earth's communication systems. You dare attack us with your primitive biological weapons? Reed allowed himself a small smile. Send them our response, this is just a demonstration. Withdraw from Earth's orbit, or we'll release Phase 2. Of course, there wasn't really a Phase 2, not yet. But the Dominion didn't know that. Sometimes the threat of the unknown was more powerful than any actual weapon. The alien ship's weapons powered up, their energy signatures reaching critical levels. But something was wrong. The weapon port sparked and fizzled, their biometallic components already compromised by humanity's microscopic defenders. In the laboratory, Dr. Wilson pointed to a concerning reading on his screen. Emily, look at this. The bacteria aren't just breaking down their tech, they're evolving. They're adapting to the ship's attempted countermeasures. Parker leaned forward, her eyes widening. They had engineered the bacteria to be effective, but this level of adaptation was unexpected. The Dominion's attempts to sterilize their ships must be accelerating the bacteria's evolution. We need to monitor this carefully. Above Earth, the alien warship was trying to retreat, but their engine sputtered and failed. The bacteria had spread throughout their propulsion systems, rendering them immobile. Their mighty vessel, once a symbol of technological superiority, was now being defeated by organisms smaller than a grain of dust. Sir, Adams reported, we're detecting multiple emergency signals from inside the Dominion ship. Their life support systems are starting to fail. Reed's expression turned serious. This wasn't about revenge or destruction, it was about defending Earth. Prepare rescue shuttles. We may have beaten them, but we're not monsters. We'll show them that humanity knows when to show mercy. As Earth's rescue vessels approached the struggling alien ship, a new message arrived from the Dominion's commander. Gone was the arrogance and superiority in their tone, replaced by something approaching respect and fear. We underestimated your species, the message began. Our databanks showed you as a Level 2 civilization, barely capable of interstellar travel. But your understanding of biological warfare, it surpasses even the ancient ones. Reed transmitted his response, we're not interested in warfare. We simply protect what's ours. Accept our help, and let's discuss peace between equals. The rescue operation revealed something unexpected. As human teams helped evacuate the failing Dominion vessel, they discovered vast databases containing information about other civilizations, countless worlds that had fallen to the Dominion's military might. But none had ever defeated them, not like this. In her lab, Dr. Parker was already thinking ahead. The Dominion will return, she told Dr. Wilson as they analyzed the data from the battle. And next time, they'll be prepared for our bacteria. We need to start working on new defenses. Wilson nodded, pulling up complex genetic sequences on his screen. Maybe we should look into fungi this time. Earth's got plenty of those that can break down almost anything. The news of humanity's victory spread quickly across Earth. People celebrated in the streets, not just because they had won, but because they had done it without destroying their opponents. They had proven that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in its ability to destroy, but in its understanding of life itself. But in deep space, beyond the range of Earth's sensors, other alien civilizations were receiving news of the Dominion's defeat. Some reacted with fear, others with interest. Humanity had just announced its presence on the galactic stage in a way that no one could ignore. And in the depths of their underground lab, Parker and her team were already preparing for what might come next. Because rule number 1 wasn't just about defending Earth, it was about ensuring that humanity would never again be seen as an easy target. The real challenge was just beginning. 3 months after the Dominion's defeat, Earth had changed. The captured alien warship, now harmless and stripped of its harmful technology, floated in orbit as a research station. Inside, human scientists worked alongside a small group of Dominion defectors who had chosen to stay and help humanity prepare for what was coming. Commander Reed stood in a newly constructed diplomatic chamber, facing representatives from 12 alien civilizations who had arrived seeking alliance with Earth. The room buzzed with translation devices as species from across the galaxy gathered to understand how a primitive world had brought the mighty Dominion to its knees. "The gift you gave us wasn't just victory," one of the Dominion defectors, who now went by the name Marcus, told the assembled aliens. "It was humility. We had forgotten that true power doesn't always come from the biggest ships or the strongest weapons." In her expanded laboratory complex, Dr. Parker worked with an international team of scientists, including experts from countries that had once been rivals. The bacterial defense system had united Earth in ways that no peace treaty ever could. They all understood that their planet's survival depended on working together. "Look at this," Dr. Wilson called out, pointing to a simulation on his holographic display. The Dominion's database shows at least 3 other hostile empires with similar biometallic technology. They'll have studied our bacteria by now. Parker nodded, her fingers flying across her keyboard. "That's why we're not sitting still. Earth's got more tricks up its sleeve than just bacteria." She gestured to a series of containment units where various Earth organisms were being studied, fungi that could dissolve metal, microscopic creatures that could survive in space, and even specialized algae that could generate protective fields. Above them, in the orbital research station, human engineers were learning to combine Earth's biological defenses with salvaged alien technology. They called it biotech fusion, a perfect blend of humanity's understanding of life with advanced alien science. "The other species don't understand Earth like we do," Reed explained to the alien delegates. "Our planet tried to kill us countless times throughout our evolution. Diseases, natural disasters, extreme environments, they all forced us to adapt, to learn, to survive. We turned our greatest threats into our strongest defenses." The alien representatives shifted uncomfortably. One of them, a tall being with crystalline features, spoke up. "But surely you understand the danger? The Dominion's allies are mobilizing. They speak of quarantine, of declaring Earth a threat to galactic stability." Reed's response was calm but firm. "We understand the danger. That's why we're offering you a choice, not an ultimatum, but an opportunity. Help us build a peaceful galaxy, one where civilizations rise together instead of conquering each other." Meanwhile, in orbit, Lieutenant Adams monitored deep space signals from Earth's new defense network. The captured Dominion ship had provided them with communication frequencies used across the galaxy. What she heard was both encouraging and concerning. Some alien civilizations praised Earth's ingenuity and called for peaceful contact. Others spoke of Earth as a dangerous infection that needed to be contained. But they all shared one thing: respect tinged with fear. No one would ever again mistake humanity for helpless primitives. Dr. Parker's team made breakthrough after breakthrough. They discovered that Earth's extremophiles, organisms that survived in the most hostile environments, could be modified to create living shields against energy weapons. Deep-sea bacteria that survived near volcanic vents could be engineered to protect ships from extreme temperatures. "We're not just creating weapons," Parker explained to a group of visiting alien scientists. "We're learning to work with life itself. Every organism on Earth is the product of billions of years of evolution, solving problems we're only beginning to understand." The alien scientists were fascinated. On their worlds, biology and technology had always been separate domains. But humanity's approach of combining the two opened up possibilities they had never imagined. But not everyone was impressed. Deep space sensors detected increasing activity at the edges of the solar system. Unknown ships appeared and disappeared, testing Earth's defenses, probing for weaknesses. They're searching for counters to our bacterial defense, Reed told his staff during a briefing. But they don't realize that we're not depending on just one trick. Earth's entire biosphere is our arsenal, and we're learning to use it in ways they can't predict. Dr. Wilson's team had started working with something even more impressive, a network of modified plants that could detect and respond to threats at a planetary scale. Earth itself was becoming humanity's greatest ally in defense. The message was clear: humanity wasn't just defending itself with clever tricks. They were reshaping their understanding of life and technology in ways that could transform the galaxy. As the third month drew to a close, humanity had established itself as neither conqueror nor victim, but as something new, guardians of a different way of thinking about life and civilization. But in the darkness between the stars, enemies were gathering. The real test of Earth's rule number 1 was about to begin. The first attack came without warning. 3 massive warships appeared at the edge of the solar system, their designs unlike anything seen before. They weren't Dominion vessels, these belonged to the Collective, an alliance of species that saw Earth's biological weapons as an affront to proper technological advancement. Commander Reed watched the tactical display as the alien ships approached, their hulls covered in a crystalline coating that seemed to shimmer and shift. "They've adapted," he muttered. "That coating will protect them from our bacterial weapons." In her underground laboratory, Dr. Parker was already 2 steps ahead. "They're expecting bacteria," she said, her voice steady as she worked. "But they don't understand what we've learned from Earth's oceans." On the screens around her, simulations showed the behavior of modified plankton, microscopic organisms that could survive in space and generate powerful electromagnetic fields when threatened. "Launch the defense pods," Reed ordered. Thousands of small satellites deployed from Earth's orbital stations, each carrying a payload of the modified plankton. As they spread out in space, they began to glow with a soft blue light. The Collective ships fired their first shots, powerful energy beams that could have vaporized cities. But as the beams hit the clouds of plankton, something remarkable happened. The microscopic defenders absorbed the energy, using it to multiply and strengthen their protective fields. "Impossible." The Collective commander's message boomed across space. "Your primitive life forms cannot defeat our advanced weapons." Dr. Wilson smiled as he monitored the plankton's response. "They still don't get it. Earth's organisms have been dealing with deadly radiation in extreme conditions for billions of years. Their weapons are just another environmental challenge to adapt to." But the Collective had more tricks. From their ships emerged swarms of robotic drones, each armed with sterilization beams designed to kill any biological weapon Earth might deploy. They had learned from the Dominion's mistake. "Now," Parker commanded. Her team activated their newest defense, colonies of modified tardigrades, Earth's toughest microscopic animals. The tardigrades, engineered to grow to visible size in space, attached themselves to the drones. Within minutes, the robots began to fail as the creatures disrupted their electronic systems. Lieutenant Adams monitored the battle from her station. "Sir, we're detecting more ships entering the system. But, something's different about these ones." She was right. The new arrivals were ships from Earth's alien allies, species who had recognized that humanity's approach to defense could change the galaxy for the better. They took up positions alongside Earth's forces, their own ships now equipped with modified versions of Earth's biological defenses. The Collective commanders found themselves facing not just Earth, but a growing alliance of civilizations that had embraced the power of combining biology with technology. Their crystalline shields might stop bacteria, but they had no defense against the countless other ways Earth's life forms could adapt and fight back. "Your weapons are impressive," Reed transmitted to the Collective ships. "But Earth's greatest weapon isn't our technology or even our biological defenses. It's our understanding that life itself is the most powerful force in the universe." In the lab, Parker's team had discovered something extraordinary. The plankton and tardigrades weren't just defending, they were communicating with each other, forming a living network in space. Earth's defenders were evolving into something entirely new. "Look at this," Wilson called out, pointing to his readings. "The organisms are sharing information, adapting in real time. They're creating strategies we never programmed them for." The collective ships launched a final, desperate attack. They released a wave of energy designed to destroy all living matter in its path. But Earth's defenders had evolved beyond their expectations. The plankton cloud transformed the energy into a brilliant display of light, while the tardigrades absorbed and redirected the attack back at the enemy ships. "They're retreating," Adams announced. The collective vessels, their weapons useless and their hulls damaged, began to withdraw from the solar system. But victory had brought something unexpected. The living defense network continued to grow and evolve, creating patterns in space that resembled the neural networks of a brain. Earth's defenders had become more than weapons, they were becoming a new form of life. "We need to understand what we've created," Parker said, studying the readings. "These organisms aren't just protecting us anymore. They're showing us new possibilities we never imagined." Reed stood at his command window, watching the glowing network of life that now surrounded Earth. Humanity had not only defended itself but had also introduced something entirely new to the galaxy, a living shield that could think, adapt, and grow. The message to the galaxy was clear: Earth's rule number one wasn't just about defending sovereignty. It was about showing the universe that life itself, in all its endless variety and adaptability, was the greatest power of all. But as the collective ships disappeared into deep space, everyone knew this wasn't the end. It was just the beginning of humanity's role in reshaping the galaxy's understanding of what was possible when you learned to work with life instead of trying to conquer it. 1 year after the collective's defeat, Earth had become the center of a galactic revolution. The living defense network that protected the solar system had evolved into something the galaxy had never seen before, a vast, intelligent web of modified Earth organisms that could think, adapt, and even communicate with other species. Commander Reed stood in the new Galactic Council chamber, built in Earth's orbit. The room was filled with representatives from over 50 alien civilizations, including former enemies. Even some members of the collective had defected, drawn by humanity's unprecedented achievements. "The network isn't just a defense system anymore," Dr. Parker explained to the assembled delegates. Her holographic presentation showed the beautiful, shifting patterns of the living web that now spanned the entire solar system. "It's becoming a bridge between species, between different forms of life itself." The modified organisms had evolved far beyond their original purpose. The plankton clouds now served as natural communication relays, transmitting thoughts and emotions across space. The tardigrades had developed the ability to create stable wormholes, revolutionizing space travel. Earth's humble defenders had become the foundation of a new kind of galactic civilization. "We understand now," Marcus, the former Dominion officer, addressed the council. "When we first came to Earth, we thought we were superior because of our technology. We didn't realize that Earth's greatest achievement wasn't its weapons or machines, it was its understanding of life's potential." Dr. Wilson's team had made another breakthrough. They discovered that the defense network was actively helping other species evolve, sharing Earth's biological innovations with worlds that had lost much of their natural diversity to industrialization. "Life finds a way," Wilson told the council, "not just to survive, but to help others survive too. That's the real lesson Earth had to teach the galaxy." Lieutenant Adams, now Captain Adams, monitored the network's latest activities from her new command center. The living web had started creating specialized nodes throughout the solar system, each one serving as a research station where different species could study and learn from Earth's biological heritage. But not everything was peaceful. At the edges of known space, the remaining hostile forces watched and waited. They had seen their most powerful weapons fail against Earth's defenses, but some still refused to accept the new order that was emerging. Let them watch, Reed said during a strategy meeting. Every attack they've launched has only made our defenses stronger, smarter, more adaptive. The network learns from every challenge. In her laboratory, Dr. Parker worked with a team of scientists from 20 different species. They were studying something unprecedented. The network had begun creating entirely new forms of life, combinations of Earth organisms and alien biology that could survive in environments no one had thought possible. Look at this, she said, pointing to a simulation. The network isn't just defending us anymore. It's preparing us for the next step in evolution, not just for humanity, but for all life in the galaxy. The council chamber erupted in excited discussion as Parker revealed her latest discovery. The network had started terraforming dead worlds, using modified versions of Earth's most resilient organisms to create new biospheres. Planets that had been stripped bare by industrial exploitation were being reborn. Earth's rule number 1 was about respecting sovereignty, Reed addressed the council, but we've learned it means much more than that. It's about respecting life itself, in all its forms, and helping it grow and evolve. A young alien scientist, working with Dr. Wilson's team, made an observation that changed everything. The network wasn't just a defense system or even a new form of life, it was becoming a guardian of evolution itself, protecting and nurturing life throughout the galaxy. The remaining hostile forces finally launched their last, desperate attack. They came with ships that could supposedly tear apart reality itself, determined to end what they saw as a biological plague spreading across the galaxy. But the network had evolved far beyond what anyone could have imagined. As the enemy weapons fired, the living web responded not with violence, but with transformation. The deadly energies were absorbed, converted, and used to create new forms of life that could thrive even in the twisted spacetime left behind by the weapons. They still don't understand, Parker said, watching the battle unfold. You can't defeat life itself. It's been adapting and evolving for billions of years. Every challenge just makes it stronger. The hostile fleet retreated for the last time, but they left behind a changed galaxy. The network's response had proven once and for all that the future belonged not to those who built the biggest weapons, but to those who understood how to work with life's endless potential for growth and change. 1 year after Earth first demonstrated its bacterial defense, the galaxy had been transformed. The network had become a living symbol of a new way forward, one where technology and biology worked together, where different species learned from each other, and where life itself was recognized as the greatest power in the universe. Earth's rule number 1 still stands, Reed told the council in his final address. But now it protects not just our planet, but all life, everywhere. We are all evolution's children, and together, we're just beginning to understand what that means. As the story spread throughout the galaxy, other civilizations began to recognize the truth that humanity had discovered. The greatest power wasn't in destruction or domination, but in understanding and working with the fundamental force that had shaped every living thing since the beginning of time, life itself. The living network continued to grow, evolve, and create, becoming a guardian of not just Earth, but of life's endless journey across the stars. Humanity's ultimate response to aggression had become something far greater, a key to unlocking the true potential of all life in the galaxy.